In northern Senegal, in the Senegal River Delta, lies Djoudj National Bird Sanctuary, a vast wetland and an important refuge for migratory birds. Among the millions of birds that gather here is the Aquatic Warbler, Europe's rarest songbird, which spent half of its year here in Africa. In early 2026, researchers from Senegal and Europe returned here to research the wetlands where aquatic warblers spend their winter and to understand what their African home looks like.
The habitat monotone with vegetation not really variable and with a little level of water. It looks like the same, and it's what we have here in Senegal.
But as Khady explained, I'm sure that type of plants that are there and water levels are similar to what can be found in Lithuania, for example. But in like a general view of where this habitat is compared to, for example, the sites in Lithuania, it's different. Because here you're in a huge national park, you see like thousands and thousands of different migratory birds. It's just the feeling that you get, you're in a very special place. And then the fact that this one specific site is between the two villages, you also get this local vibe of how they live in the area. Kind of, I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but it sometimes even feels like that because to get there, it's not so easy, you know? So then it also gives the impression of how the people there, how do they get by when it's, for example, rainy season and everything could be a bit more flooded and it can get mudded. It also makes you think like, wow, these people are really like resilient because it must be difficult to do things when it's rainy season, for example. So it's, the general overall feeling, it's different than what you would see in European wetlands. But in terms of like ecology, I think it's similar.
We have the black-tailed godwit, we have spoonbill, le ganga.
Trecoles alchata is the Latin name.
Yes, the ganga. Monkey, yes, we have monkey also. Faucochère.
Hogs. You know, from Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa. I received a picture of a huge snake. There's some crocodiles.
Yeah, shakal.
Mosquitoes is many.
It's a very small aspect of it, but just imagining like how huge the area is and how actually hard it must be to preserve it because there's so many things that need, you know, water levels and ecology and the plants, you know, but somehow the birds are still coming there. So yeah, important to think that all the way from Europe, Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, wherever they come from, they come to this one place. And so for me, it was like, wow, this is very important because just even not knowing what type of birds is it because there's thousands. And again, I'm not a bird expert, but just imagining like, wow, so many depend on this habitat.
Djoudj National Park is on government, but the particularity of the habitat which are using by this aquatic warbler is we have one part of this habitat with inside of the Djoudj National Park, and we have the more big habitat part of this habitat we outside. It is between two villages, Débi and Tiguet. We have a good participation of local community and local guard, staff from Djoudj and community population from Débi and Tiguet and another eco guard.
At least for one, I know because I discussed with him. He's a local eco guard today. He was a former assistant to hunter, go everywhere but today he's a really a defender of the species, environment thing, and seeing his trajectory and from where he came and where he are, the engagement, the motivation he showed, that he touched me. I mean, yeah.
the engagement and interest of the people living there and working there, it was very impressive.
I think for me, this is the most important thing we need to improve and to keep.
And what is nice is that it's actually the people from the villages who are eventually going to kind of be in charge of conserving this area.
Djoudj is comparable at a laboratory. They receive several person experts who come to do catching, bringing. You understand, and I think it's something natural. They would like to know better and to have this expertise to do, and not to accompany a person watch, but they would like to practice. It is really a small bird. If we explain to community, they leave Poland, for example, they come into Senegal, they start to understand how this small bird can travel this long distance, and it's something amazing. They would like to learn more on this species. In Wolof, they call it bopp wurus. If we translate word by word, they are meaning the head of by gold. They give some importance of this bird. This habitat using for gathering and fish for some part, and to exploit some nénuphar in French.
Lilies. Water lilies.
Water lilies. When they transform it on powder, they can use like cake. They do
like
many
a flour.
things. Or they can use it like rice. Transform it now to do some cereals. So we need to improve the quality of this habitat, and we already start with some restoration activity.
The wetland action that we started last year, we will try to continue it. Also collaborate with some other water management projects that are in the site and around the site to better manage the water quantity, the water inflow, so that we can have the best available vegetation for the species.
The video was developed within Life Aquatic Warbler project with the help of Aquatic Warbler on the Move project. Both projects are financed by LIFE program by European Union.